Yo, what's good, YouTube? Issachip _ on Twitch. You know what I'm saying? We got why hasn't David been arrested yet? I've been hearing a lot of things about this case, bro. I've been seeing a lot of things about this case, bro. And some shit going on in the chat. Niggas talking about the case. Let's get into it.
So far, we've learned that Celeste Rivas, a teenage girl, was found in the front trunk of an impounded Tesla registered to him. Within 48 hours, LAPD searched the Hollywood Hills home David was staying at and seized multiple devices. And now the internet's been asking a lot of questions, but the biggest one is, why hasn't David been arrested?
Yo, this nigga's eyes are like, what's that shit called? You know when niggas like have abnormally big eyes?
Why is this process taking so long? I'm locked into finding out the truth about this case, and I'll be keeping you updated every step of the way. So let's break this one down together. By now, you've probably seen the headlines. Celeste Rivas, a teenage girl, was identified after her remains were found in the front trunk of a Tesla.
Bro, no, yo, no, gang, the shit was fixed before that, bro. Chill.
Registered to popular singer David. The car had been towed to a Hollywood impound.
I fixed it already.
And that's when staff noticed a foul odor, opened the front trunk, and made the discovery. Since then, detectives executed a search warrant at a Hollywood home where he'd been staying at and seized electronics. Popular brands who partnered with David, like Hollister, for campaigns, pulled back, and his world tour was also put on pause. And famous celebrities like Canadian singer Tate McRae distanced herself, along with singer Kali Uchis. So let's get into it. Why hasn't
I just went to one of her concerts. That's crazy.
And what's actually
pause
happening behind the scenes? Let me walk you through this step by step. Here's what we know so far. According to the authorities, the Tesla was registered to David Burke, which is David's real name. The body inside was severely decomposed to the point where it's been difficult for the medical examiners to determine exactly what happened or how she died. Police also stated that the body had been in that Tesla for an extended period of time, though they did not specify exactly how long. In connection with this, we also know that the Tesla was towed to Hollywood Tow after it was reported abandoned. According to NBC Los Angeles, neighbors said the car had been parked there for more than a month before it was finally taken away. That explains why the smell was so overwhelming. When a body decomposes in a closed space like a car, gases build up and the odor is impossible to ignore. Believe it or not, that's actually one of the most common.
Yeah, I got like 2 visits to being innocent, quote unquote.
Like this. We also know that Celeste Rivas was 14 at the time of her death. She would have turned 15 on September 7, 2025, but her body was found September 8. That means that it was confirmed she died at 14, not 15. And just to clear something up, early on, the medical examiner's office listed her as 15, and that's what I was going off of in my initial coverage. In reality, that detail was off, so my apologies for repeating it before the correction came out. And shout out to everyone who caught that and corrected me. We keep each other accountable on here, and that's how it should be. Now, the medical examiner office also confirmed how she was found. Celeste was wearing a tube top and small black leggings. She was described as having wavy black hair with a metal stud earring and a yellow metal chain bracelet. Something else I want to share with you is this. Even though the cause of death hasn't been released or determined yet because of the condition of the remains, one outlet, the Los Angeles Times, has reported that the authorities are treating it as a homicide. Now, to be clear, investigators still don't know who's responsible. Did you see the stream clip?
Yeah, I seen the stream clip, bro. That stream clip was crazy, bro. Niggas just tried to end stream and get out of here. Yo,
that's exactly what they're looking to uncover right now, and those answers will come out as the case develops. And now let's get to the actual.
And how did nobody see that clip until now?
Hasn't been arrested yet. Within hours of Celeste being identified, LAPD's Robbery Homicide Division served a search warrant at a Hollywood Hills home where David had been staying. The home located at an upscale neighborhood on Doheny Drive, just north of Sunset Boulevard, Los Angeles. And David actually doesn't own the property, but sources say detectives went in and walked out with computers and electronics. This was the first major sign that the police are actively digging into his world. So right now, there's obviously a connection between David and Celeste. Her mother, of course, confirmed she had a boyfriend named David, and people have pointed out things like the matching tattoos, and there's, of course, a bunch of photos of them together online that have surfaced, along with a live stream clip. But here's the reality. Investigators are still trying to figure out just how deep that connection goes, and that's the part we don't know yet. On one hand, the Tesla was, in fact, registered to David, and her body was discovered inside. On the other hand, police sources have said it's one of several vehicles linked to David, and that multiple people...
Yo, you gotta understand, bro. This nigga had to, like, yo, his track record was crazy. Invincible, Fortnite, opening. I think he opened for Sizzler, opened for Kali Uchis. This nigga was just doing shit. Okay, bro. Yeah, obviously. I'm not saying now. I'm just saying, like, it's crazy. Like, all that, bro, we never knew.
Had access to those cars at different times. If you don't understand what that means, basically, most celebrities don't just, drive their own cars.
I'm not saying it did trump everything. I'm just saying, bro, like,
friends,
just, like,
family,
it's crazy.
staff, managers,
drivers,
borrowed for errands. So just because the car,
I thought this was just a nigga singing in his closet that made it out.
Doesn't automatically prove that he was the one behind the wheel or the one who put Celeste there. And that's where caution comes in, because detectives can't just rely on paperwork. They need hard proof. It's not enough to point to
best don't let niggas ever then let a nigga who really bro. What was I about to say, bro?
Registration. They need forensic evidence and a clear timeline that ties a specific person to that trunk. Without that, an arrest could fall apart in court. And that leads us to where the case stands right now. At the stage, police are retracing Celeste's final days and digging through the devices they seized, because whatever is on those electronics could lay the foundation for where to look next. They're also patiently waiting on forensics to close the gaps, and that's what explains the silence. In order to build a case that holds up in court, every single detail has to line up. So what exactly are investigators zeroing in on? Two critical questions. Number one, the timeline of events. They need to figure out exactly when Celeste died. As of now, they only know it was an extended period of time before discovery, but the precise time of death has not been pinned down yet. Number two, they're trying to establish when her body was placed in the trunk and by whom. That detail alone could make or break the case. And this is what complicates everything. Detectives don't know yet when the exact moment Celeste died was, or the exact moment her body ended up in that Tesla. Until those blanks are filled in, no arrest can stick. So social media has been reacting to the fact that David hasn't been arrested yet, and yeah, there's been a lot of outrage. Some people are even saying that there must be some type of favoritism going on. Like, is he paying somebody off, you know, to still be out on the streets? But that's not really what's happening. According to the law, he is innocent until proven guilty, okay? And as of right now, we do know that he's been cooperating with the police. Now, that doesn't automatically clear him, because even guilty people can cooperate, but it does help his case if it turns out he wasn't involved in what happened to Celeste. Here's the bigger picture. Everything right now comes down to the medical examiner. Once the medical examiner officially rules this as a homicide and determines how Celeste died, then law enforcement can move forward with charges against whoever is responsible. Until then, it's very difficult for police to move on anyone, because the case wouldn't hold up in court. And David is of course connected to all this in some way, because Celeste was found in a Tesla registered to him. That's the fact tying him into the investigation. But how deep that connection really goes is exactly what detectives are still working to figure out. And that's why this case feels like it's been moving slower than everyone expects. Since we're in the thick of it and everybody knows about it, everything has to be airtight here. But while the medical examiner's office does its work, the LAPD is currently going through the electronics they seized. So iPhones and MacBooks, everything has to be airtight here. But while the medical examiner's office does its work, the LAPD is currently going through the electronics they seized. So iPhones and MacBooks, because the digital
right here
to him, that's the fact tying him into the investigation. But how deep that connection really goes is exactly what detectives are still working to figure out. And that's why this case feels like it's been moving slower than everyone expects. Since we're in the thick of it and everybody knows about it, everything has to be airtight here. But while the medical examiner's office does its work, the LAPD is currently going through the electronics they seized. So iPhones and MacBooks, because the digital trace can establish a timeline, location, communications, and access, and that's the stuff that either confirms or kills a theory. So as of now, all we have to do is just watch how the investigation unfolds. I trust that law enforcement is they're gonna do their thing, right? The medical examiner's ruling, the forensic evidence from those devices, and the timeline detectives are piecing together right now, those are the keys that'll decide whether David walks free or whether this turns into the biggest case of his entire life. And until those pieces lock into place, he's legally still an innocent man, of course. But none of this stuff changes the heartbreaking fact a 14-year-old girl lost her life and her body was left in the trunk of a car. I'm deeply invested in finding out what happened to Celeste, and I'm sure you are. But more importantly, who carried out this evil act against this little girl. Whoever that person is, they deserve to be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. So let's make sure we keep our focus in the right place on getting justice for Celeste and not letting the noise distract us.
Like, what's wrong with y'all?
If you made it to the end, drop a like, and like I promised, I got you with every update on this day.
Hey man, shout out. This nigga's name is Black. I didn't want to say his name. I feel like this is crazy. Yo.
It's a YSL, it's a PDE, that's my old team, it's a TBT.